Still not quite as easy as getting on and off my enclosed trailer, but
I fucking love those TV shows where motherfucking white guys get in a fucking van and chase fucking tornadoes.
This is this dude, yeah.
but it fits real nice and snug, as you can see. Okay, so the damage report after a 2-day drift event. I hate taking bumpers on and off cars, even if it's only 2 zip ties, so. Alright, so back home from the Drift Indy event this weekend, and gonna get everything unloaded from the rig. The thing did awesome. Pretty much like 350-mile round trip. First time using it. Definitely have some things to sort out as far as modifications to make everything easier for my setup. The rig was used for circle track racing. I think a dirt modified car. So, you know, you have your rig set up for what you do, and since it's a lot different than what I'm doing with drifting, I have to get rid of stuff, modify stuff that makes more sense for me. So anyways, besides that, it went pretty smooth. You know, I'm probably gonna modify some stuff on actually the car itself to make it easier to winch on and off the trailer, not trailer, but the toter, and just figuring out all the other ins and outs of this thing, but everything went really smooth. But yeah, for example, loading it backwards, which really isn't a big deal to me, makes it a little bit more difficult to line it up, since I have these little crappy mirrors that look real cool, but you can't see out of them. So with that being said, I have the winch around the front bash bar here, and then it pulls it on backwards because the winch is located about straight across from here. So with it being connected at the front, it allows me to pull the car all the way on. But it fits real nice and snug. As you can see, it's right next to the counter here, which I'm probably gonna ditch this portion of the counter. You know, it's just all time, getting everything sorted out with time, and right now it all works as it is. This tire rack, as you can see, I had one of those things fall down, and it's who knows how long it's been hanging like that, but saved it from smashing into the car. But yeah, that tire rack's made for probably some massive, like, I don't know, 30-inch tall circle track tires, so it doesn't work that well for what I'm using. And I also probably don't need that big of a tire rack. I'd rather modify some type of shelving system to hold the race ramps, which they fit perfectly right here, but once you get a car in here and need to put them back in, it makes it a total pain because they don't fit that easily up there. So a lot of little things here and there. You know, I'll probably make something to keep all these fuel jugs contained. But yeah, little by little, it'll get there. Gotta kind of pull this thing. It's a winch setup. And I think there's some ground issues somewhere. I'm not sure exactly, but it works. I had to do some new connectors up there where the relays are. This thing was never working. I thought it was a bad switch, but it was just, there was a almost broken spade connector up there at the relay. Put that about 90% of the way down so I can get these ramps underneath there. But yeah, I had to redo all those relays up there. One of them was crimped pretty poorly and it was barely making connectivity. Yeah, as you can see, these ramps work fine right up here. You know, they don't fall into the car because it's at such a steep angle. This is still funny here that these things manage to stay up for the ride back. I'll get this Porsche out of the way. Seriously, that thing sounds so sick. It's probably the main reason why I keep it. Okay, so ideally I would back this thing up perfectly to where these ramps would be set inside the shop here, and that'd give me a few more inches. And then the angle would be a little bit more slight to where I could leave the front bumper on this thing. But right now, the way I have it is about worst case scenario to where I'll just run it right over. So instead of backing this thing up a few more times to get it right, and this car is not in the best spot for it either, it's just easier for me to cut the zip ties over here and take this bad boy off. Which, if you know me, I hate taking bumpers on and off cars, even if it's only 2 zip ties. So the plan is to get dump valves for the bags in the back of this rig, so I can air this thing out, and it should drop down, I would bet, over 4 inches, and that would significantly help, especially to get away from using these ramps. I'd prefer to get some aluminum ramps that I can put on some hinges. Same idea as this stock flap here, and just flip those things down instead of having these race ramps to have to store. But you know, it takes time. So eventually I'll get those bags on, and then from there see what I can make work, because I hate stowing away all these ramps. Just be easier to have some flip outs, which I have a set for the enclosed trailer, but I need something longer for this. Ideally I'll need something that's as long as this whole door. But now I can winch this thing out of here and move this. I just use that for extra precaution in case the winch were to give out. Not quite lined up with the lift, but I should be able to start steering that thing off there. Yeah, worst case scenario, I got my front bash bar. It's pretty much touching the ground right now because the front wheels are in that divot. So it may even be done free rolling. I have to drive it off. Yep, like I figured. So that's partially my fault for having these ramps end up right here in that low spot. But like I said, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes trying to get this thing lined up. And it'd probably have to be right on that FC there, which doesn't run, so I'm not moving it. But overall, as you can see, it's fairly easy. I'm hooked up right here to the front bash bar, and it clears like everything. It does look like it's touching the radiator, but as you can see, it is slightly off of it, so it's not damaging anything underneath. Easy enough. Still not quite as easy as getting on and off my enclosed trailer, but we'll get there eventually. Okay, so the damage report after a 2-day drift event and a bunch of friends hanging out in here and storing their tools and pizzas and whatever. I didn't clean anything out yet, and everyone was respectable, cleaned up their shit. A few of my own zip ties sitting around. Decided, since I have a few trailers, I'm always moving straps around from truck to truck, trailer to trailer. I'm gonna leave these straps in this rig permanently, just so I'm not moving stuff back and forth, and I know they'll always be in here. So from now on, I'm gonna leave these straps in here. Guess I'll leave that one in here for strapping wheels down. Maybe I'll do a better job than last time. And then these I use to strap the inside of the door, and in case the winch were to fail, which I really doubt it would, but just some extra security. So I strap that thing back to make sure it doesn't come down when I'm going down the road. Who knows? But yeah, so overall, need to get probably a set of these to keep in here, since I'm always going to need them at the drift events. But somehow I misplaced a set, so I need to take these into the shop, because right now I don't have a pair in here. But the prices from the GK Tech ramps are cheap enough. I probably might as well order up another set anyways. And then now that it's emptied out, get to doing some modifications, I suppose. At least start planning for it. I don't know if I have time to start getting to it right this moment, but can start planning. this thing, I can start planning on building a dash or putting a dash in here that doesn't look terrible. I hate not having a dash in it. So next up is building something or getting one in there that doesn't look awful.